What's going on, everybody? It's just another day in the kitchen, back with another episode. In today's video, we're taking a look at the latest merch from Justin Bieber's Skylark brand in support of his new album, Swag 2. Now, before we get started, I want to give a special shout out to the homie Strain Beats, who's been cooking up the beats for these videos, so make sure you guys check them out. And while you're here, you might as well drop a like and subscribe and join our free Discord to stay up to date with the latest and the greatest. Shout out to all of my chefs in there. Now, earlier today, Lil Bieber, aka The Biebs, surprised everyone with the shock announcement of his new album, Swag 2, dropping tonight at midnight. And with it came the announcement of a new collection of merch from his brand Skylark, so I figured we needed to talk about it. So to kick things off, we have some freshly cooked zip hoodies that are available for $160 and are advertised as ready to ship on or before September 23rd, which essentially is acting as a pre-order for these items, so definitely keep that in mind. And while this might not be the biggest deal to most people, I really appreciate that the Skylark team included a size chart with each item in this drop, because I don't know about you guys, but nothing sucks worse than overestimating or even underestimating the fit of a new piece of merch, let alone one that goes for $160. So again, shout out to the Biebs. Now, as you guys can see, the zip hoodie is also available in this dope tree colorway, which at the time of this recording already saw some sizes sold out. So this is your sign to head to skylark.com before they are all gone. And if these first two zip-up hoodies really aren't your swag, the Biebs would have you covered with a few more hoodies, starting off with the following jelly colorway that'll cost you a cool $140 or $20 less than the previous hoodies. So with that being said, while I know some of you may be watching this and thinking, well, $140 for a hoodie is pretty steep, I did want to share Bieber's tweets where he talked a little bit more about it, as he shared some of the behind the scenes process, mentioning that they really cared about making the perfect hoodie, caring specifically about the shape and the material. So while it may not be justified for some purchases, I did want to share it does seem Bieber and his team tried their best to make what they think is the perfect hoodie. Now, next up in this Skylark drop, the Biebs would bless all of his fans with some new beanies, kicking things off with this little lilac colorway that also ships out on or before the 23rd of September. And for a retail cost of $40, this beanie can be yours, along with the smudge colorway, as you guys can see right here. Now, last but not least, and perhaps what I'm most excited about in this brand new drop, is the addition of some new Skylark footwear, kicking things off with the $80 beach slides, as you guys can see here. And again, while this might not matter to some, I do appreciate that the Skylark team includes this size chart that actually mentions they recommend half sizes and taking the nearest size up, as a lot of times it's very hit or miss with footwear, and especially when copying from a new brand for the first time. So again, I've got to give them their flowers. Now, in addition to this fizz or like lime green-esque colorway we just saw, the Biebs would also drop the following factory gray colorway, which I tend to prefer as it's not so loud, but let me know in the comments if you guys plan on picking these up and which color you guys prefer so far. Now, last but not least, we have the Rest slipper pictured above in the Juice colorway to wrap up this newest Skylark collection. And for a cool price of $120, these can be yours not only in this colorway, but also the biscuit. And while not that big of a deal, I did want to share that these Rest slippers do ship out a little sooner than the rest of the pieces, as these are advertised as shipping on or before September 13th, so make sure to keep that in mind. Now, speaking of these Rest slippers, Bieber would also share some behind-the-scenes lore on his Twitter, as he mentioned that they actually discontinued the chunky-soled slides as it was pretty easy to roll your ankle. So they then, of course, made these low-rise ones. So again, I think that it's sick that we have someone that actually wears the products that they make. And I always think and say it's super important and powerful for an artist to actually like the merch that they put out and the fact that they actually wear it, because if they don't mess with it, why the hell would we? Now, in wrapping up today's video, I again want to give my flowers and credit to Bieber and the Skylark team for another successful merch launch, as it's really the small things that add up and people like myself appreciate, such as the addition of a frequently asked questions portion of the website, as you guys can see here. So if you guys have any questions about what to do with your order, who to contact, what to do about shipping, all of that information is housed on the website, so shout out to them. And if I haven't already mentioned it in this video, I definitely recommend heading over to the official Skylark Instagram, where you guys can see a whole lot of behind the scenes footage and clips, not only of upcoming merch releases, which can of course get you hyped for the future, but also pictures of the pieces on Justin himself to give you an idea of what's coming out next. Now, with all that being said, I do also want to point out that this is not Justin Bieber's first foray or attempt to start a clothing brand, as we saw him dissolve the infamous Drew House not too long ago. And if anything, I have to say it was while doing the research for this video that I came to appreciate the Biebs even more as an artist and an entrepreneur. Because, let's face it, we've all seen our fair share of uninspired and overpriced artist merch, and especially in the streaming age when bundles rule everything, it's actually really refreshing and cool to see an artist as big as Bieber acknowledge that this merch drop has nothing to do with bundles and is just for the love of the game. So again, I think it's actually really cool that Bieber has been taking the time to develop and craft an actual line of clothing and not just like some cheaply screen printed tees as we've seen other artists do in the past, as I can't even count that many artists that have had the opportunity to even dive into footwear. And while I do think there are some heavy Yeezy inspired inspirations going on with the overall collection as a whole, I don't think that takes away exactly from what Bieber is trying to do with Skylark. And if anything, I'm more hyped than ever to see what him and his team have cooked up and have next up their sleeve. Now, as always, guys, thank you so much for cooking with the kitchen, and let me know what you guys think about this one in the comments, because like I said earlier in the video, today's album announcement came as a surprise earlier this morning, and I'm very excited and interested to hear just who's featuring on this new album. I have seen some rumors that Travis Scott, aka LaFlame, will be featured on it, but only time will tell. So if you guys are excited to hear Swag 2, let me know in the comments. If you guys ended up picking up any new pieces of Skylark and are planning to support Bieber that way, let me know in the comments. And as always, remember to stay safe out there. Thank you guys for tuning in, and remember, it's lit straight up and peace.